I'm going to play a song from my Elephant King album, again, the latest album. And this song was named by a fan of mine. I never know what to name my song. Some of them I have a good idea, but then some of them I just don't know until I release it. And so I didn't know what to name it. I posted a video on YouTube and said, help me name the song. And I got like 400 song ideas that came into me from all people from all over the world. Some of them were really bad. And so I picked the name Traverse. And it was meaningful to me because I used to do a lot of rock climbing. It used to be one of my passions. And guitar playing and rock climbing I used to do quite a bit. And unfortunately, I don't get to climb anymore. I travel too much. I have these long fingernails on this hand, so I can no longer kind of grip the rock. But I also had a really serious climbing accident about 15 years ago. And I kind of didn't really climb much after that. I almost lost my life, and it's weird. I didn't tell anyone about it for years. I told a couple people that I was living at the time knew about it. Otherwise, I didn't tell my own parents about it for about 6 or 7 years because I was ashamed. That I almost killed myself after them kind of warning me, you should go climbing because you'll maybe kill yourself. But after I wrote this song, I started telling people again, and it's been really good for me, if anything else. And so, if it's okay with you guys, I wanted to share a little bit of the story. Again, it was like 13 years ago, and this guy who I didn't know very well in Boulder, Colorado, where I live, he really wanted to go rock climbing, and so finally I decided to go climbing with this guy. And we did, we're in El Dorado Canyon in Boulder, which is a beautiful canyon, and we're doing these climbs. The last climb of the day, it was a 120-foot high cliff, and I lead up this cliff, and at the top there are these 2 big metal rings permanently bolted into the rock. And that's nice because then at the end of the day, what you can do is take your rope, feed it through these rings, tie it back into your harness, and then the person at the bottom will then lower you to the ground and you just pull the rope. So I did this. I put my rope through the rings, I tie it in, I kind of lean over the edge, and I say, okay, ready to lower. And I hear him yell back up, okay. And then I do this, I've done this thousands of times, right? This is just what you do. And so I walk backwards to the edge of that cliff, 120 feet up, and I step off to be lowered down and just start free falling. And, your whole life kind of flashes in front of your eyes and all that kind of stuff. But basically what happened is there's this miscommunication, and he thought one thing, I thought another, and when I said I was ready, he unclipped the rope and walked away and started packing up for the day. And so there's just no one at the bottom holding rope. And so, I'm falling, and eventually, I stop falling, as physics and everything have it. And I remember, I don't know how long I was totally out for, but I remember, taking this big, deep breath of air, and, it's like the most amazing breath of air I've ever experienced in my life. And then I opened my eyes, and I could just see this beautiful blue sky. So I was laying on my back, and it was like the most beautiful, vibrant blue. This beautiful Colorado day. And then I started wiggling my toes and my feet and my fingers to kind of see if I'm paralyzed, and I'm not. And then my hearing comes back, and I could hear the guy yelling, but he wasn't next to me, he was down below me. So I realized that I had landed halfway down on this little tiny rock ledge. So basically, I fell 60 feet and landed on a rock, and I was able to get out of it that day with only minor injuries, which I think is just a miracle in itself. But here's the crazy thing. I went back and I climbed it, I think 2 or 3 months later, this time with someone who I really trusted. And I get to the top, and I feed the rope through those rings again. And this time I pull all kind of half the rope through, and I decided I'm going to lower myself down. I'm going to rappel down myself. And I want to, partially because I'm freaked out and I want to be lowered down, but I want to also see this ledge halfway down. So I get to that, I lower down to the halfway point, and I find the ledge. And here's where it gets crazy. I'm hanging straight down. It was a really steep climb, so I'm just hanging straight down on the rope. And I remember I had to take my foot and reach out and grab onto the edge of that ledge and pull myself onto it. because that ledge was cut into the rock. So in other words, there's no way I could have landed on this ledge. Like, I could not have even thrown a rock down because it was cut, like I couldn't have hit it. And so basically I should not be here right now. I should not be sitting on this nice stool sharing music with people like you all. Like it's crazy. And so when I realized that and I saw that, like it was literally, I think God just slowed me down for a second and pushed me on this ledge and said, here you go, you can have another shot at this all. And that blew me away. I decided from that moment on, I want to live my life with passion and with excellence in everything I do, and giving thanks to God for every day that I have. Because like we have no idea, right? Why not live that way with that kind of a passion and thanksgiving, because we have no idea what tomorrow has in store. So I think about that every time I play a song. So thanks for letting me share it. If anything, it was really for me to hear. So I'll leave you with this one. Here's Traverse.